I don't see being in a relationship as being a sacrifice. I think if that's your big picture thinking, you have a wrong view on relationships or you're with the wrong person. I wouldn't equate happiness with ambition. For some people, that's very true. For me, I'm ambitious. I get a lot of happiness from striving to do big things, but not everybody is necessarily built that way. Whatever you want to grow and build, you have to put focused attention on, for sure. I think my love for Nina makes my love for my business stronger. I'm a better entrepreneur because I have Nina in my life.
There's two different types of love. Like, you love what you do, and you love your partner, like Nina, right, in your case, right? So there's two different types of love. What's the difference between those two?
Your work is tied to your passion. Your work is tied to a purpose. Your work is tied to, like, I want to create something amazing in the world. It's tied to service, right? Like, the love that you get from that is feeling like you're doing important work every day. At least just from my perspective, when I'm working or when I'm with Nina, I'm not thinking of it as work. I'm not thinking of it as my purpose. I was talking to Alex not that long ago about Nina and relationships, and he's questioning whether he wants to have somebody who he's with that he is helping grow and helping build and helping become a better person. And I'm actually not interested in that in Nina. Like, I like seeing Nina grow and learn, but I'm not with her because I can help her grow and learn. It's almost shutting off the mission part when I'm with her. And what is love with Nina? I think of it as the connection, the human touch, the support, just what we need as people. I think you need both. I think you need to have human connection and love in a just same way like with your parents or with your kids. When I have Hayden, I'm not thinking he's going to be part of my purpose to then help entrepreneurs. It's just a human connection piece. But then I think you also need to love the work you're doing with purpose, to feel like you wake up every day and you're doing something that matters. It fills the soul. Like, maybe one fills the heart and the other fills the soul. I think for most people, it's worth having somebody in your life who supports you, who can be a cheerleader, who fills you with love. I think for most people that's important. Like, I think that's baked into us as humans. I think the connection with somebody is important. That can't be filled only through work. I think there might be a tiny segment of people who never want to have kids and never want to have a relationship, but it's baked into us. Like, we want to have kids, otherwise humans wouldn't exist, right? It's part of what it means to be human. And so I think that's definitely part of most people. You should be not only 100% focused on your business, because you're going to always feel a void. But how do you then find that person? I don't think you have to go and spend a lot of time with focused effort on, like, I'm going to go to this bar and I'm going to meet somebody and I'm going to be in a relationship, right? I think you find the people that you're meant to be with through activities that you enjoy and love. So it could come through work, but it might also come through something else. I mean, I met Nina through here, TDS, salsa dancing. Not aggressively saying, I need to get into a relationship this year, it's my goal to meet my wife, because sometimes putting that extra pressure on it makes it worse. Yes, you need to put in effort, but I think people set themselves up for failure in putting too many expectations on early wins. Like, you go on a first date with somebody, and unless that's going to be the person you marry, you shut it off, right? You should come and take a salsa class because you want to take a salsa class and meet people. And if you end up meeting the person, awesome. But if you're coming to a salsa class with the expectations of, I need to meet my wife or my husband in this class or I'm leaving, you're not living. And if you're not living and being happy, you're not going to find the person. So I think your best shot of finding a person is doing the activities that you love. That could be within a business context, but it could also just be things that you love doing outside. For example, Nina went to New York for the past couple of days. She had to meet up with some friends in New York. I stayed in front of my computer all day long. All day long. I didn't see anybody. I didn't do anything except work and take a couple breaks to play a League of Legends game and then back to work. And take the dogs out and then back up. I didn't see anybody, didn't go for coffee, nothing, zero. In front of the computer all day long. Now, that's not healthy. And if I was by myself for an extended period of time, I would start to feel lonely and then have to go do something. I have a low need for human contact, though. I don't need a lot to fill up, so it's easy for me to default and be in front of the computer. Being in front of the computer and working fills up my purpose, right? It's amazing. It fills my soul to do it. But I'm not meeting anybody through that process. I'm not getting the human contact. It's not the same just interacting with people through, responding to comments or making an Instagram DM, right? So at some point, I would need to go off and do something else. Come to a salsa class, hang out with friends, do something.
Do you think love for your job and love for somebody else can coexist without sacrifice?
I think my love for Nina makes my love for my business stronger. I'm a better entrepreneur because I have Nina in my life. So I think in the big picture, absolutely. I think in the small picture, there are sacrifices that you have to make, but you don't sacrifice in the long game. So Nina flies back yesterday from New York. I have a super crazy busy day. I'm filming, I'm trying to get everything done before Hayden comes over. So she's about to land. She says, hey, I'll just take an Uber. Like, no, I'll pick you up. I'm going to drive. I'll pick you up. We'll bring the dogs. That takes an hour out of my day to do it. But I want to do it for her, for us. So it's a sacrifice from me not working on my business in that moment. But Nina brings so much more to me, even before she was involved in my business, that makes me better as an entrepreneur. So I don't see being in a relationship as being a sacrifice. I think if that's your big picture thinking, you're either you have a wrong view on relationships or you're with the wrong person. It's because you can't be happy. Like, you can't fully be happy just doing work. And when you are happy and energetic, you bring more to your work. So if I'm a happier person, then I'll be better on video. I'll be better with the entrepreneurs I'm helping. I'll be better with the work that I'm doing. Nina helps make me a happier person, and hopefully vice versa. Right? So you can sacrifice for a short amount of time, like Nina goes to New York, or in a breakup between relationships, you might go hardcore on work, and that fills up a piece of you. But if you found the person that makes you feel true love, then it'll make you happier. That'll bring more energy into all the work that you're doing.
Some people might be stuck in a sticky situation.
Yeah.
Where, for example, they're absolutely in love. They love the person that they love them. But in order for them to commit 100% to what they want to do to be great, they have to sacrifice time spent with that person. They have to sacrifice, vacations and Netflix dates or whatever it is you do with your partner. How does someone deal with something like that?
I think short-term, long-term. I think in the short term, especially someone like me, when I get an idea, it has to happen, like immediately, right? We're not planning for next year. Like, it's like, you get an idea, let's meet tonight and make it happen. That's how I roll. That can be challenging in a relationship. There's been a number of times where I had to sacrifice with Nina our time to work on something that I felt was important at the time, right? A classic example was my book, and my last book. It's 2 books I finished writing while on a cruise with Nina. We're on a cruise, it's our time, we're having fun, and then I get in my head, I gotta finish this book. And Nina, by now understands. I get this look in my eye like, this has to happen. I'm gonna make this happen. And so I finished my book on the cruise. While Nina was working out, I'm writing. While Nina's sleeping, I'm writing. I still went and explored the cities with her, but I was checked out in certain times to focus on writing my book. If that was happening all the time, though, I wouldn't have a wife, right? So it's in these spurts, in these moments where I need to focus on doing this thing. The same thing happens the flip side. Hayden's coming tonight, right? And we're 2.5 weeks together. I'm only working Fridays. So I'm not meeting my team. I'm not filming our usual videos. I'm not doing the things that should help grow my business. Everything is off, so I can spend time with Hayden to do it, right? And so I'll do that with Nina too for different things. So in the micro, there's constant trade-offs based off of what you're feeling. But in the macro, if you're not spending enough time overall, you're going to lose those people or lose your business. So if you're feeling right now short-term, I really need to focus on my business, and it's at the sacrifice of the relationship, then it's communication, explaining, right? Ideally, the person who you're with understands that. And then you need to show them that you love them too. You have to build up enough emotional equity with them.
How important is it for two people who are together, especially for an entrepreneur who's finding a partner, to have somebody who is as motivated as they are towards something?
I think that depends on who you are. I don't think that's a black and white question. I think that's a personality question. So for me, I don't care how motivated or ambitious Nina is. I care about Nina's happiness. What makes Nina happy? If Nina was happy, Nina now works for me full-time. She's my chief heart officer. But that's a really new thing. That's only the past year. Before that, she was doing payroll, accounting and payroll at companies. Not her own business, working for the man, working for a company. But she didn't hate. She liked the people on her team, and she liked her boss, and she liked the work. As long as she's happy, I'm happy. That should be the core of the relationship. Like, you want them to be happy in a way that happiness looks like for them, not what you would do. The worst advice you can give is what you would do. Well, if I was in Nina's shoes, I would die. I would hate working in payroll. It would destroy me. Like, in a day, I would burn out and have to open up my own business or do something else. But for her, that's happiness. She was happy there. So what matters to me is that Nina is happy on a regular basis. And I guess motivated to attack happiness more than attacking a goal of a financial number or another metric.
Do you feel it is your responsibility as the motivated entrepreneur to push your partner to be more ambitious, to get out of the job that they want to do? Is that an important part of the relationship, or is anything to do with entrepreneurship, anything to do with ambition completely out of the picture when it comes to relationships?
I wouldn't equate happiness with ambition. For some people, that's very true. For me, I'm ambitious. I get a lot of happiness from striving to do big things, but not everybody is necessarily built that way. So I don't need Nina to be ambitious if she doesn't want to be, but when you said it's okay if she's normal and works a job that she doesn't like, that's not okay, because she's not happy. If she's at a job every day, and that is most people, you're right. People wake up and drive to a job they hate, that's most people. But most people are not happy. That's not cool. And I'm trying to fix that in the macro. I'm trying to fix that for everybody with all the content that I'm making and this new series. But with Nina, or with your wife or spouse, I think you should take it as your responsibility to try to find out ways that they could be happy, which may require a push. But the push for Nina might be go get another job, not go be this ambitious person with this huge goal. What makes them happy?
How do you balance having a relationship with pursuing a goal, pursuing a dream?
I create a calendar, and I create the habits and rituals that make me feel like my life is balanced. Balance is another very personal thing. And I think too often we're comparing our version of balance to somebody else's. What you do that makes you balanced, I might think is ridiculous. I don't want to do that. For some people, balance means you have to call your mom every day at breakfast. Awesome. I don't do that. I go for a walk. So with relationships, every morning I go for a walk with Nina, with the dogs. Every evening we go for a walk together. Now that she works with me, we're doing a lot of projects together, but we're in work mode most of the time. We end the night every night at 8. We finish working. We watch something together, and some TV show, Arrow or Flash or whatever. Give her a massage, and then we go out for a walk. And then Saturday is the whole day all in doing stuff. I'll plan a day for her and surprise her, and she doesn't know what's happening any Saturday. And it's always based around stuff that she likes and cares about, food and exploring and stuff that I don't care that much about, but she does. And that's how we balance it. But for other people looking at that, they may think that's not enough time, or that's way too much time. You know, the most important thing is, are you with intention creating a schedule and a life that you want? Where I think a lot of people default to just number of hours. But if you're just sitting there watching Netflix and you're both on your phone and you do that for 4 hours a night, doesn't mean that you're actually connecting together, right? So for me, it's much more about quality of time than quantity of time. And since we all have the same 24 hours, I'm trying to make the quality of my time every hour that I have spent properly. So that's balance for me, right? I want to spend this much time with Nina. I want to spend this much time as a father. I want to spend this much time with the team, this much time working on my own projects. I'm an introvert, so I like having time to myself too, to think and work on stuff. And it's a constant, never-ending game, right? Like you don't create one perfect schedule and then you're set for life, because you're going to grow and change and want to try on new things. And so it's adjusting your calendar and your schedule constantly. That's the macro. That's like, here's what I want to live every week. But then within the week, maybe something happens, right? Nina goes to New York. I have to go pick her up, right? Or Nina gets sick and I have to take care of her. Or Hayden comes over and we're going to spend time together, right? There's these things that will throw you off, but there's still the baseline of, okay, when that finishes, I'm back to my schedule.
Do you believe you have to be 110% committed to what you want to do in life in order to achieve it? You find a balance in life. You kind of spread, you know, if you will, if you have like 100 energy, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? You spread 85 of that to your dream and your goal, and 15% of that to your life. Or that's a really broad example. But
I think with all of these questions, it's a short-term and a long-term game. I think when you have an idea that you need to go chase down, you need to focus on it. You need to go all in. And that means you sacrifice other areas. But if that's all you're doing forever, you won't have a relationship. And so you have to figure out, where is that time going to be spent? Because you also want a relationship. Like, humans want to be in a relationship. You do. You have to be with the right person. You know, that's a hard game to find the right person. But you want to be in a relationship. And then in the beginning of a relationship, you want to spend lots of time with them. You want to do things. You want to get to know them. You're staying up late. You're sacrificing your sleep. You're sacrificing your business, because this becomes a priority. And then you have to figure out where the balance is going to be. So it's this, shifting scale depending on where you're at. But you need to find a way to do both, because you want to do both. Every human, pretty much, wants to do both. I think most people are not living intentionally. I think for all of the discussion around time and people don't have enough time and I'm burning out, and I think most people are wasting tons of time every day. People default to, like, I'm going to sacrifice sleep. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to bed at 1 a.m. And I think most people are wasting tons of time every single day. Like, even me, I waste time during the day. That's the game that I think most people should play first. Like, audit your time. Look at your calendar. Look at how you spent today or yesterday, the day before. Say, were you living with intention every moment of that day? It's like, no. You were slacking off a whole bunch of times, which could be used to grow your business or build your relationship, because we're procrastinating, living in fear and worried about judgment. And so that prevents us from taking action. So you need, whatever you want to grow and build, you have to put focused attention on, for sure. I just don't think most people are putting enough attention on the things that matter to them.
If you have a podcast or interview show and want me to be a guest on it, I have two options for you. There's a link right there next to me. Go click it, and I look forward to being a guest on your show.